The screen flickered to life like a guilty whisper in the dim glow of the living room, pulling Mark Thompson into a world he never imagined cracking open his own front door. His fingers, still sticky from fixing the sink under the kitchen faucet, hovered over the keys. Alex's laptop, left carelessly on the coffee table after his son bolted out for basketball practice. What started as a hunt for that damn misplaced homework file spiraled into a vortex. Thumbnails of men entwined in raw, urgent passion, their bodies a map of secrets Mark had buried deeper than his wife's grave. Heart slamming against his ribs like a caged animal, he slammed the lid shut, but the images seared into his soul, igniting a firestorm of rage, shame, and something dangerously close to recognition. Mark slumped back on the sagging couch, the weight of 20 years in this sleepy Ohio town pressing down like the humid summer air outside. At 45, he was the picture of Midwestern grit. Broad shoulders from years hauling lumber at the mill, calloused hands that had built this split-level house brick by brick after Sarah's cancer stole her away 10 years back. He'd raised Alex alone, pouring every ounce of love into the kid. Coaching Little League, cheering at high school games, enforcing curfews with that stern dad voice that masked a heart forever cracked. Alex was his anchor, his mirror, the one pure thing left in a life of quiet routines. Dawn shifts, microwave dinners, and Sunday barbecues with neighbors who nodded sympathetically at the widower dad. But now this. Gay videos. On his boy's laptop, the word clawed at him. Queer, spat like venom in the locker rooms of his youth. The slurs that had kept him silent, straight-laced, married to Sarah out of duty more than fire. He paced the faded Persian rug, boots thudding softly against the floorboards that still echoed with Sarah's laughter. What the hell was he supposed to do? Yell? Ground him? Pretend it never happened? The thought of Alex, 19, all lean muscle and easy grins, that mop of brown hair flopping over hazel eyes just like his mother's. Hiding this twisted him up inside. Was it a phase? Rebellion? Or had Mark failed him somehow? Too busy surviving to notice the signs? He grabbed a beer from the fridge, the cold glass sweating in his grip like his own forehead, and chugged it down, chasing the burn. Outside, crickets chirped in the twilight, oblivious to the storm brewing in the Thompson house. Mark's mind raced back, unbidden, to his own college days at Ohio State. That one roommate, Jake, with the cocky smile and late-night confessions over cheap whiskey. They'd wrestled once, too close, too heated, and Mark had bolted, burying it under frat parties and Sarah's soft touch. Not me, he'd sworn then. Never me. By the time Alex burst through the back door, sweat-soaked jersey clinging to his frame, the sun had dipped below the cornfields, painting the kitchen in bruised purples. Dad, you see my laptop? Coach wants that playlist for practice tomorrow. His voice was light, boyish, laced with that post-game high Mark knew so well. Mark stood at the sink, gripping the edge, the laptop now innocently closed on the counter like a loaded gun. He turned, forcing a smile that felt like cracking concrete. Yeah, kid, it's here. Fix your homework file, too. Printer jammed again. Lies slipped out easy, a reflex honed from years of solo parenting. Alex sauntered over, ruffling his damp hair, oblivious to the thundercloud over his father's head. Up close, Mark saw it. The subtle grace in his son's movements, the way his eyes lingered a beat too long on the neighbor's son mowing the lawn across the street. It hit like a sucker punch, my boy. Dinner was meatloaf and mashed potatoes, the same recipe Sarah had perfected, now microwaved from frozen. They ate in near silence, forks scraping plates, the TV droning some baseball recap in the background. Mark stole glances, searching for clues in Alex's downcast eyes, the flush on his cheeks from the game. Rough practice? He ventured, voice gruff. Alex shrugged, spearing a green bean. Nah, we crush him. But school's piling up. College apps and all. A pause, heavy as the humid air. You ever feel like you're faking it, Dad? Like pretending to be someone you're not? The question hung there, innocent on the surface, but it sliced Mark open. He coughed, nearly choking on his bite. What are you talking about, son? Alex met his gaze, something vulnerable flickering there. Fear? Hope? Just stuff. Fitting in. Mark nodded, throat tight, the laptop's secrets screaming in his ears. That night, as Alex's door clicked shut upstairs, Mark sat alone in the dark living room, the house groaning like it shared his ache. He powered up his own ancient desktop, hands trembling, and typed the forbidden words into the search bar. Gay men first time. The results flooded in, a torrent of stories, videos, confessions that mirrored his buried whispers. One click led to another, and suddenly he was watching, not with disgust, but a pull deep in his gut, a heat he denied since Jake's dorm room. Tears stung his eyes as the truth clawed free. This isn't just about him. It's me too. The days blurred into a tense standoff, Mark dodging Alex's easy chatter, burying himself in overtime at the mill where the saw's roar drowned out his thoughts. But the nights were torture, sweat-soaked dreams of strong hands on his skin, Jake's laugh echoing into Alex's face, blurring lines he couldn't uncross. He started small rebellions. A worn-out copy of some queer memoir from the library's dusty back shelf, hidden under his mattress like contraband. Waltzing with Shadows, it was called, A Tale of a Man Coming Out in the Heartland, and Mark devoured it in stolen hours, heart pounding with recognition. The author, a trucker from Indiana, wrote of that first kiss in a roadside diner bathroom, the terror and thrill twisting like barbed wire. Mark's fingers traced the pages, imagining, not Jake, not some faceless stranger, but the curve of a jaw under stubble, eyes that saw through the facade. One Saturday, the mill shut down for maintenance, leaving Mark with too much time and a gnawing itch. He drove aimlessly, the old Ford pickup rumbling through back roads lined with goldenrod and silos, radio crackling country tunes about lost loves. The GPS betrayed him, veering toward Columbus, the nearest city with its pulse of anonymity. He told himself it was for supplies, new boots, maybe, but his hands gripped the wheel toward a bar he'd glimpsed online, a dive called the Rusty Nail, flag pin on the door promising safe harbor. Parking lot gravel crunched under his boots as he stepped out, heart jackhammering. Inside, dim lights hung over scarred wooden tables, the air thick with smoke and murmured conversations. Men, farmers' suits, blue collars like him, nursed beers, eyes flicking up as he claimed a stool at the bar. First time, the bartender, a silver fox with a tattooed forearm and knowing smile, slid him a draft without asking. Mark nodded, throat dry. That obvious? The man chuckled, low and warm. We all look like deer in headlights at first. Name's Riley. What brings a mill rat like you out of hiding? Mark's laugh was rusty, but it loosened something. Riley was 50-ish, wiry build from years on construction sites, green eyes crinkling with lines that spoke of joys and scars. They talked, easy at first, about the Buckeyes game, then deeper, wives lost to illness, kids who didn't know, the ache of pretending. My boys. Figuring it out too, Mark confessed over his second beer, the words tumbling free like a dam break. Riley's hand brushed as on the bar top, electric. Takes guts to say it aloud. More to live it. By closing time, they were outside under the neon buzz, Riley's truck idling beside Mark's. Coffee sometime? No pressure. Mark hesitated, the rural dark pressing in, but nodded. Yeah, tomorrow. Driving home, windows down, wind whipping his hair, Mark felt alive, terrified but alive. Alex was asleep when he slipped in, but the laptop sat accusing on the desk. Mark didn't touch it. Instead, he lay awake, replaying Riley's touch, the way his voice wrapped around secrets like a blanket. The coffee shop in downtown Columbus was a far cry from the diners back in Milford. Exposed brick walls, chalkboard menus scrawling artisanal brews, hipsters tapping away on MacBooks amid the aroma of fresh grounds. Mark arrived early, fidgeting in the corner booth, his work jeans and flannel out of place among the tailored coats. He told Alex he was running errands, a lie that sat lighter now, buoyed by the thrill humming in his veins. Riley walked in 5 minutes late, wind-blown and grinning, carrying a paper from the dispatch yard where he oversaw hauls. "Traffic's a bitch on 71, he said, sliding it across for Mark, their knees brushing under the table, a spark that made Mark's breath hitch. They ordered black coffee for Mark, something frothy for Riley, and the conversation flowed like the Scioto River outside, meandering from weather wines to the grind of blue-collar life. Riley had grown up in a holler outside Cincinnati, son of a coal miner who drank himself blind, escaping to the Army at 18, where he'd learned to box and bury his attractions under drill sergeant's bellows. Discharged honorably, he'd married Ellen, a nurse with kind eyes, raised 2 daughters who now scattered across the state. When Ellen passed from a stroke 3 years back, Riley cracked open, first a grinder fling that blew up in his face, then therapy, then this, showing up for himself. "Took me 47 years to admit I like men as much as the next sunrise," he said, stirring his drink, eyes steady on Mark's. "What's your story, handsome?" Mark swallowed hard, the endearment landing soft as a kiss. He spilled it in fits and starts. The straight-laced upbringing in a Baptist household, football scholarships that masked his confusion, that night with Jake in the dorm that ended with a slammed door and unspoken regret. Sarah had been his salvation, or so he thought, sweet, steady, the girl who made sense on paper. Their wedding was small, the house in Milford, a fixer-upper they poured dreams into. Alex came quick, a squalling bundle that glued the cracks. But after her death, the loneliness crept in, a shadow Mark drowned in overtime and fatherly duties. "Then I find stuff on my kid's computer," he murmured, voice low. "Videos. Gay ones. In it. It didn't repulse me. It woke something up." Riley reached across, thumb tracing Mark's knuckles. A gesture so simple, so profound, it unlocked a flood. Tears pricked Mark's eyes, hot and unbidden. "What kind of dad does that make me? Failing him by hiding from myself?" Riley's grip tightened, warm and sure. "The kind who's brave enough to show up here. That's step 1. They lingered till the barista shot polite glances, then walked the riverfront, fall leaves crunching underfoot, the Olentangy murmuring secrets of its own. Riley's arm slung casual over Mark's shoulder at one point, pulling him close against the chill. Mark didn't pull away. The contact was fire and balm, stirring memories he'd starved, the press of a body that fit, not out of obligation, but hunger. By the time they parted with a hug that lingered too long, Mark's lips brushing Riley's stubbled cheek in what could pass for friendly, he felt seen. Raw, exposed, but seen. Back home, the facade cracked further. Alex was in the kitchen, nuking ramen, his lanky frame silhouetted against the fridge light. "Errands take all day, Dad? You look different." Mark paused, keys jangling in his pocket. "Different? Yeah. Lighter, like he'd shed a layer of rust. Met a guy from the mill. Old buddy. Half-truth, but Alex's eyes lit up, probing. Cool. You need more buddies. Mom always said you work too hard." The mention of Sarah twisted the knife, but softer now. They ate together, ramen upgraded with frozen peas Mark tossed in, and talked real for once. Alex venting about a classmate's bullying, the whispers in the locker room about that fairy on the team. Mark's got clenched. "They give you shit." Alex shrugged, but his jaw tightened. "Nah, I hold my own. But it's exhausting, you know? Hiding who you are." The words echoed Riley's, a cosmic nudge. Mark wanted to spill it all, "I know, son. More than you think," but fear clamped his tongue. Instead, he clapped Alex's shoulder. "You're stronger than they know. And hey, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. No judgments." Alex searched his face, something shifting in those hazel eyes, trust, tentative as a first step. Upstairs later, Mark pulled out his phone, heart racing, and downloaded the app Riley mentioned, a forum for late bloomers, men like him unpacking decades of denial. Posts blurred in the blue light. Married 25 years, came out at 50, best decision ever. Told my daughter, she hugged me tighter. Hope flickered, fragile but fierce. The next week blurred in a haze of stolen moments. Text with Riley. Innocent at first, "How's the mill treating you?" Then bolder, "Missed that smile today." lit up Mark's shifts like beacons. They met again, this time at a park on the outskirts, walking trails lined with buckeyes turning crimson. Riley shared stories of his girls, photos on his phone of graduations and birthdays, pride swelling his chest. They're cool with it now. Took time, but blood's thicker. Mark nodded, envy and longing mixing. Alex remained his world, but the laptop incident festered unspoken. One evening, as thunder rumbled over the fields, Alex cornered him in the garage. "Dad, I know you saw it. The laptop." Mark froze, wrench slipping from his hand, clattering on the concrete. Rain lashed the windows, mirroring the storm inside. Alex's face was pale, defiant. "I left it open on purpose. Needed to know if you'd freak." Mark's world tilted. "Freak? Son, words failed, the truth too vast." Alex stepped closer, voice cracking. "I'm gay, Dad. Have been since forever. And I thought, maybe you get it." The admission hung, electric. Mark pulled him into a bear hug, rough and real, tears mingling with rain scent. "I do, Alex. More than you know." But he held back the rest, the Riley spark, his own unraveling. That night, as Alex retreated to his room, Mark drove to Riley's cramped apartment on the east side, pounding on the door till it swung open. "I told him," he gasped, and Riley pulled him inside, arms wrapping tight. Their first kiss was clumsy, desperate, beard scraping, hands fumbling shirts, the taste of coffee and fear. It shattered Mark open, pleasure crashing like waves he'd only dreamed of. Afterward, tangled in sheets that smelled of laundry, soap, and new beginnings, Riley whispered, "You're not alone anymore." The afterglow faded into dawn's gray light, filtering through Riley's thin curtains. Mark staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, his body humming with echoes of the night. Riley slept beside him, chest rising steady, a arm draped possessively over Mark's waist, an anchor in the chaos. At 45, Mark had bedded only Sarah, missionary lights-off routines born of affection more than fire. This was wildfire, Riley's callous palms mapping his scars, lips claiming with a hunger that answered Mark's own buried roar. Guilt slithered in with the birdsong. What about Alex? The town? But Riley stirred, green eyes blinking open, and pulled him close. "Morning, cowboy. Coffee." Mark laughed, the sound foreign and free, and nodded. In the tiny kitchen, over mugs chipped from years of use, they talked logistics. Riley's girls visiting next month. Mark's fear of the mill gossip mill grinding him to dust. "You're not quitting this," Riley said firmly, handing him a towel after a shared shower that nearly derailed the morning. "We take it slow. Dates, not declarations." Mark dressed in yesterday's clothes, stealing one last kiss, soft, promising, before hitting the road back to Milford. The hour drive flew, radio blasting Springsteen anthems about working-class hearts, but reality crashed at the county line. Alex's truck in the drive, curtains twitching. Inside, the house smelled of burnt toast. Alex at the stove in boxers and a tee, flipping eggs with forced nonchalance. Slept in the shop. Mark lied smoothly, dodging his son's sharp gaze. Project ran late. Alex plated the food, sliding it over with a side eye. "Smells like cologne." New project. Mark's cheeks burned. Riley's scent clung like evidence. But he grunted affirmation, digging in. The talk from last night lingered, unspoken tension crackling like static. "About what I said. Dad, I didn't mean to blindside you." Alex poked at his yoke, voice small. "Just tired of lying." Mark reached over, squeezing his forearm, echo of Riley's touch. "No blindsides, kid. Proud of you for saying it. We'll figure the rest." Alex's relief was palpable, shoulders dropping, a grin breaking through. "Yeah? No Bible-thumping uncles, or anything." Mark chuckled, thinking of his brother in Toledo, the one who'd called queer folks sick at family reunions. "Screw him. We're Thompsons. We build our own rules." The moment sealed something, a bridge over the chasm, but Mark's phone buzzed. "Thinking of you. Lunch in C-Bus Friday." He silenced it quick, heart soaring and sinking in equal measure. Work that week was a grindstone on his nerves. Sawdust choking the air, foreman's barked orders, buddies slapping backs with jokes about bagging tail after hours. Mark nodded along, but his mind wandered to Riley's laugh, the way his fingers intertwined during walks. Friday came like a lifeline. He clocked out early, claiming a dentist run, and met Riley at a quiet Italian spot tucked in German Village, cobblestone streets romantic under gas lamps. Candlelight danced on Chianti glasses as they shared pasta, knees touching under the tablecloth. Riley opened up about his first love, a soldier in Kuwait, stolen nights in tents that ended in dishonorable whispers. Lost him to the don't ask policy. Swore I'd never hide again. Mark shared Sarah's final days, the hospice bed where he'd held her hand, promising to live full for Alex. But I shortchanged myself. Us. Dessert was tiramisu, spoons clinking, then a stroll hand in hidden hand through the alleys, shadows cloaking their fingers. At Riley's door, passion reignited. Clothes shed in a trail to the bed, bodies learning rhythms new and ancient. Mark lost himself in the arch of Riley's back, the salt of his skin, gasps mingling like prayers. Afterward, sated and spent, Riley traced Mark's wedding ring scar. You ever think of telling Alex about us? Mark tensed, reality's cold finger on his spine. Soon. Gotta time it right. Riley nodded, understanding etched in his lines. No rush. But don't wait forever. This life's too short for closets. Saturday brought family. Alex's basketball tourney in Akron, a 2-hour haul through pouring rain. Mark drove, wipers slapping rhythm, Alex hyping the playlist from his phone. The gym reeked of sweat and popcorn, bleachers packed with cheering parents. Alex shone on the court, all fluid drives and no-look passes. But Mark's eyes caught the glances. A teammate, Jordan, tall and dark-skinned with a quick smile, lingering post-game hugs that said more than victory. Pride swelled, mixed with protectiveness. World's cruel. Shield him. They won by 10, celebrations spilling into a diner where Alex demolished fries, chattering about scouts eyeing him for Ohio U. You think I'd fit in Columbus? Big city, you know. Freer. Mark heard the subtext, nodded. You'd thrive anywhere, son. Just be you. On the drive home, storm clear to stars. Alex dozed against the window. Mark's mind churned, Riley's question echoing. That night, after Alex crashed, Mark paced the porch, fireflies blinking like Morse code. He texted Riley, tell him soon. Need you there? Reply instant, always. Sunday dawn crisp, leaves swirling in gusts. Mark fired up the grill for burgers, inviting the neighbors, old habits. But his heart raced when Alex announced a study group, leaving the house empty. Riley arrived unannounced, flannel mirroring Mark's, a six-pack in hand. Thought we'd christen in the backyard. They grilled, beers cracking open, talk light, till Riley set his down. About last night. Mark cut him off with a kiss, fierce, claiming, against the fence, hidden by lilacs Sarah planted. It deepened, hands roaming, until voices from the street yanked them apart, flushed and laughing. Close call, Riley panted. Mark grinned, alive with recklessness. Worth it. As Riley left, Alex pulled up, eyebrow arched at the extra plate. Company. Mark wiped his hands, steady. Yeah, guy named Riley. Good people. Alex's nod was casual, but his eyes sparkled. Approval? Curiosity? That evening, over a Buckeyes game, Alex probed gently. This Riley. He's single. Mark choked on his soda, coughing. Why? Alex smirked. Dunno. You seem happier. Glowy, even. The word hung, a key turning. Mark took a breath. He's important. And Alex? There's something about me, too. The remote paused mid-play. Room still. I'm exploring. Like you. Alex's face lit, shock melting to joy. Dad, that's awesome. Hug tight, tears silent. Mark felt the weight lift, chains snapping. But whispers of doubt lingered. Town tongues, family fallout. Monday at the mill, it started, a buddy spotting his Columbus parking stub. Hot date Thompson. Laughter rippled, good-natured but probing. Mark shrugged it off, but inside, resolve hardened. He met Riley for lunch, declaring over sandwiches, told Alex. Your turn to meet him. Riley's grin was sunshine. Dinner Friday? I'll bring the wine. Friday evening arrived with a chill wind rattling the gutters, carrying scents of bonfires from neighboring yards. Mark fussed in the kitchen, pot roast simmering, table set with Sarah's good china, a nervousness buzzing like high school prom. Alex had agreed to the dinner, curiosity piqued, but his texts all week hinted at nerves. He cool with sports? Don't embarrass me, Dad. Mark chuckled, chopping carrots, but his hand shook. This wasn't just a meal. It was a declaration, a step from shadows into light. Riley pulled up at 6 sharp, bouquet of wildflowers in hand, daisies and asters, simple and bold. For the host, he said, pecking Mark's cheek quick before Alex could see from the stairs. Alex bounded down, all gangly energy in jeans and a hoodie, extending a hand with forced cool. "Sup, Riley? Dad says you're in hauling." Riley clasped it firm, green eyes twinkling. "Yeah, keep the trucks rolling. You? Hear you're killing it on the court." Dinner unfolded in fits. Awkward pauses filled with basketball talk. Riley sharing Army hoop stories that had Alex leaning in, laughing. Mark watched, heart full, his boy opening up, Riley's easy charm bridging gaps. Over pie, store-bought, but no one cared. Conversation turned real. Alex poked at crust. "So, how'd you two meet?" Riley glanced at Mark, who nodded. "Bar in Columbus. I bought your dad a beer. He bought my heart." Alex snorted, but his eyes softened. "Smooth. Dad needed that since Mom." The room hushed, Sarah's ghost gentle now. Mark reached for Alex's hand. "Your mom's watching, kid." Smiling. Riley added soft. "She raised a hell of a man." Tears glistened, but they passed the pie, talk shifting to college dreams. Alex confessed, nerves about coming out at Ohio U. Dorms, parties, what if? Riley leaned forward. "What if it's freedom? I hid till 50, regret that most." Alex nodded, absorbing. By dessert's end, plates cleared, Alex clapped Riley's back. "You're all right. Stick around." As he headed upstairs for a call from Jordan, Riley pulled Mark close in the hall. "Proud of you." Their kiss was slow, grateful, fire-banked but burning. The weeks that followed wove them tighter. Mark and Riley carved routines, weekend hikes in Hocking Hills, trails mud-slick underfoot, hands linked when no one's watching. One afternoon, perched on a rock overlooking fog-shrouded valleys, Riley unpacked his kit bag. Old photos, a letter from his lost love in the desert. "This is me, all of it." Mark traced the faded image throat tight. "Thank you." In return, he shared Alex's baby book, crayon drawings yellowed with time. "Our future's brighter." Romance bloomed in quiet ways. Riley's texts at dawn. "Sunrise without you sucks." Mark's surprise picnic at the mill gate. Sandwiches wrapped in foil. Sex evolved too, from urgent grapples to tender explorations, learning curves of bodies long denied. But Milford's edges sharpened. Whispers at the gas station. "Thompson's got a city slicker buddy, too chummy." The foreman pulled Mark aside one shift, cigar stub clenched. "Heard you're different now. Don't let it queer up the crew." The slur landed like a slap, but Mark stood tall. "My life's mine, Hank. Worry about your quotas." He stormed out early, driving to Riley's, where anger dissolved in arms that held without judgment. "They're scared," Riley murmured, rocking him. "Of what you represent, truth." That night, they made love fierce, reclaiming power. Alex's world intersected theirs in joyful bursts. He brought Jordan home one Sunday, tall, shy, with a gap-toothed grin and dreams of architecture school. The four of them barbecued, laughter echoing as Jordan and Alex teamed up on cornhole, Riley coaching with mock seriousness. Mark watched from the grill, spatula paused. His son flushed, stealing glances, Riley's hand on his knee under the picnic table. "Family," he whispered to the smoke. Later, as the boys washed dishes giggling, Riley sidled up. "They're cute, like us at 19. Mark smirked. "Speak for yourself, I was clueless." But pride swelled. Alex was blooming, no longer shadowed. Tension crested mid-month. Mark's brother, Uncle Ray, rolled into town unannounced. Big Ford F-150 gleaming, Bible on the dash. Ray was old school, ex-Marine, deacon at his Toledo church. the one who'd preached family values at Sarah's funeral. He clapped Mark on the back too hard, eyeing the house. Place looks good, bro. Still swinging straight. Alex tensed in the living room, Jordan's visit fresh. Dinner was brisket, strained small talk, till Ray cornered Alex post-meal. Heard rumors at the plant, your boys. Confused, Alex's face flamed. I'm gay, Uncle Ray. Deal. Ray sputtered, turning to Mark. You let this happen? Mark rose, voice steel. I love my son. And for the record, I'm with a man. Riley. The bomb dropped, silence deafening. Ray's face purpled. Abomination. Sarah roll in her grave. He stormed out, tires squealing into the night. Alex hugged Mark tight. You didn't have to. Yeah, I did. Tears came, cathartic. Riley arrived an hour later, alerted by text, wrapping them both in his steadiness. Family's what we choose. They talked till dawn, plans, boundaries, healing. Ray's fallout rippled. Calls from cousins. Church invites laced with concern. Mark blocked numbers, focusing inward. A weekend getaway sealed resolve. Riley's cabin in the Alleghenies, rented on a whim. Alex begged off, Jordan thing. Winking. The drive wound through Pennsylvania hills, leaves aflame. At the lake, they fished from a dock, lines plunking soft. Riley hooked a bass first, whooping. Mark reeled in a perch, triumphant. Evenings by firelight, stories spun. Riley's army pranks, Mark's mill mishaps. One night, stars blanketing, they made love on a blanket, slow and cosmic, bodies sinking like tides. I love you. Riley breathed after, words velvet. Mark's heart cracked wide. Love you too. Back home, reinvigorated, Mark faced the mill head-on. He came out in the break room, casual over coffee. Seeing a guy. Great one. Thoughts. Stunned silence. Then nods. Hank clapping his shoulder. About time you smiled, Thompson. Not all embraced. A few quit talking, but the crew held. Alex's tourney win that weekend, scouts swarming, Jordan in the stands cheering loud. Mark and Riley side by side, hands brushing. Life tilted toward light. Winter crept in on Milford's heels, frosting the corn stubble white, turning breaths to ghosts in the morning chill. Mark's life, once a monochrome grind, bloomed in technicolor strokes. Riley's truck in the drive most nights, his laughter mingling with Alex's over video games, the house alive again. They navigated the new normal with care. Public affection curbed to handshakes at the diner, but private moments fierce. Stolen kisses in the garage, Riley's head on Mark's chest during Sunday football, whispers of forever. Alex thrived too, Jordan a fixture. Study dates stretching to midnight drives, their first official outing to a Columbus queer youth mixer that Alex gushed about over breakfast. It was normal, Dad, like breathing, but shadows lingered, elongated by the season's short days. Ray's silence stretched to weeks, then a terse voicemail. Thanksgiving. Bring the boy. We'll talk. Mark deleted it, but doubt gnawed. Family fractures ran deep in the heartland. Riley sensed it, pulling him aside after a shift. Go if you want, but take me. Mark shook his head. Not yet. Need to shore up here first. Instead, they planned their own feast. Turkey brining, Alex and Jordan on pie duty, a nod to Sarah's traditions with a queer twist. Rainbow jello salad, Riley insisted on. The table groaned under platters, candles flickering, for souls toasting to chosen kin. Jordan, shy at first, warmed with wine, sharing his immigrant parents' slow acceptance. Nigerian roots clashing with American dreams. They prayed a lot, then hugged me. Alex beamed, hand under the table on his knee. Mark caught Riley's eye, gratitude swelling. This is us. Post-holiday haze brought opportunity. Ohio used winter formal. Alex's invite extended to Jordan. You guys should double, chaperone or something. Mark laughed, but Riley jumped. Hell yeah, suits and all. The night shimmered. Mark in a rented tux too tight at the shoulders. Riley dashing in charcoal. Alex preening in slim fit black. The venue, a ballroom strung with lights, pulsed with youth. Couples twirling, same-sex pairs unapologetic. Mark and Riley swayed on the edge, his hand low on Riley's back. world fading to their rhythm. Remember our first dance? Riley murmured. Mark smirked. Bar napkin waltz? Laughter bubbled, free. Alex cut in later, pulling Riley for a goofy spin. Jordan claiming Mark for a father-son shuffle. Thanks for everything, Alex said, voice thick. Mark's throat closed. Wouldn't miss it. January thawed secrets further. Mark joined a support group in Columbus, late bloomer circle, folding chairs in a community center basement. Stories echoed his. A teacher outed by emails, a farmer losing church ties. One night, a guest speaker, a therapist named Lena, sharp-eyed and warm, spoke on intergenerational trauma. Hiding hurts, the hiders, and the hid from. Break the cycle. Mark shared haltingly. The laptop discovery, his awakening. Nods rippled. A burly vet clapped his back. Brother, you're gold. Riley waited outside, engine humming, pulling him into a kiss that tasted of progress. Spring stirred trouble. Milford's annual fair rolled in. Carnival lights strung over Midway, funnel cakes greasing fingers. Mark and Riley strolled arm in arm at first, then hands in pockets as stares prickled. Alex and Jordan raced rides, whooping from the Ferris wheel. But midway through, Ray appeared, booth tending for the church, face like thunder. Mark, the word clipped. Riley tensed beside him. Ray, awkward hellos, then Ray's low growl. This your phase. Mark's blood boiled. My life. Love it or leave. Ray's eyes flicked to Alex, laughing distant. Poisoning him too? Riley stepped forward. That's your nephew. Back off. Fists clenched, but a crowd milled, forcing retreat. Ray spat. Family meeting. Now. They piled into his truck, tension thick as exhaust. At the fair's edge, in an empty lot, words erupted. Ray ranted, Bible verses, natural order, Sarah's memory weaponized. Mark countered, voice rising. You hid your own shit, booze affairs. Don't preach. Gasps. Ray's secret spilled from old letters Mark found post Sarah. I loved her true, Ray snarled. This? Sin. Riley, calm anchor. Love's love, Ray. Your choice to hate. Alex, drawn by shouts, arrived with Jordan, face set. Uncle, stop. Dad's happy. We're happy. Ray deflated, eyes wet. Lost my way too, boy. A beat, then hug, stiff but real. Come for Easter. Trot. Ray nodded, truck rumbling away. The fair's lights twinkled on, sweeter now. Renewal flowed. Mark and Riley week into the cabin again, this time with boys in tow, fishing, bonfires, truths around embers. Jordan opened on his faith struggles, Alex on coming out fears. Riley shared Army losses. Mark his Jake regret. Bonds forged in firelight. Back home, Mark inked a tattoo. Small rainbow threaded through a mill gear. On his forearm, Riley matching with a hauler wheel. Our marks, he said, tracing in bed. Summer beckoned with heat waves. Alex's graduation looming. Scouts confirmed. Ohio U scholarship, full ride. Celebrations of the Rusty Nail, Riley's turf. Crew from the mill toasting, Hank raising glass. To Thompson's, queer and clear. Laughter roared. But a letter arrived. Ray, handwritten. Proud of you, sorta. Easter it is. Healing, inch by inch. One sweltering night, post-barbecue, Mark and Riley slipped to the porch swing, stars wheeling overhead. Marry me? Riley asked, ring box velvet. Mark's heart soared. Yes. Dawn broke on plans. Small ceremony. Alex best man, Jordan ring bearer. Life, once fractured, mended in love's steady hand. Graduation day, dawn sticky hot. Milford Highs feel the sea of caps and gowns under relentless July sun. Mark stood tall in the bleachers, Riley's hand discreet on his knee, pride a living thing in his chest as Alex crossed the stage, diploma gripped, grin splitting his face. Jordan hooped from the front row, parents beside him beaming tentative support. The ceremony blurred in speeches and cheers, but Mark's mind replayed flashes. Alex's first steps here, scraped knees from playground chases. Now this. Manhood claimed. Post-ceremony, hugs and photos. Ray even showed. Stiff suit. Nod to Riley, congrats. Progress, bittersweet. The party at home swelled. Mill buddies grilling brats, neighbors with coolers, Jordan's family adding jollof rice to the spread. Alex held court, tales of buzzer beaters drawing laughs. Mark caught him slipping Jordan a keychain, Buckeye charm, engraved forever. Blush and kiss quick, hidden by the shed. Riley murmured in Mark's ear, our boys flying. Mark nodded, throat tight. As dusk fell, fireworks popping over the fields, Alex pulled them aside. Columbus in fall. Visits? You two old fogies need watching. Laughter, promises sealed. August accelerated. Packing boxes, dorm tours, goodbyes looming. Mark helped load Alex's Civic, sweat beading as they Tetris clothes and posters. Riley pitched in, taping labels with jokes about freshman survival kits. One evening, boxes done, the three sat on the empty living room floor, pizza slices in hand, memories spilling. Alex shared laptop nerves, thought you'd disown me. Mark winced. Never. That night, save us both. Riley added, truth's a gift. Alex hugged them fierce. Love you guys. Drop-off day, Ohio U's campus buzzed. Dorms chaotic, parents milling teary. Jordan waited at Alex's door, duffels piled. Hugs lingered. Mark whispered, call anytime. Driving home, Riley's hand in his. Emptiness ached, but joy tempered it. With Alex gone, the house echoed, but Mark and Riley filled it deliberate. They renovated. New paint in the kitchen. Sarah's lilacs transplanted to a shared bed. Dates deepened. Concert in Cleveland. Riley's head on Mark's shoulder to folk tunes of lost loves found. Sex wove souls. Lazy mornings, urgent after shifts, always affirming. Riley's girls visited once, weekend whirlwind. Dinners, hikes, questions gentle. Dad's happy, eldest asked, eyeing Mark. Riley grinned. Happier than ever. Acceptance bloomed. Photos added to the mantle. Fall painted Ohio gold, but storms brewed. Milford's paper ran a feature. Local man comes out. Heartland hero. Well-meaning, but exposing. Phones rang. Reporters, old friends, trolls. Ray called raging, stirring shit, but backed with proud underneath. Mark gave one interview, voice steady. Love wins. Simple. Backlash hit. Graffiti on the truck, fag scrawled pink. Riley clean at dawn, cursing soft. Bastards. Mark pulled him close. We endure. Crew rallied. Hank organizing a bonfire, toast to resilience. Alex texted support. Heroes. Jordan says hi. Strength in numbers. Thanksgiving tested. Ray's Toledo house, tables set formal. Tension hummed as they arrived. Mark and Riley hand in hand, Alex and Jordan trailing. Ray's wife, Clara, hugged tight. Nieces stared curious. Turkey carved, prayers said neutral, talk skirted edges till pie. Ray cleared throat. I apologize. 4 before. Love's love. Stilted but real. Alex broke ice. Uncle, passed the whipped cream? Laughter cracked walls. Late by the fire pit, Ray pulled Mark aside. Sarah to prove. This Riley, he good. Mark teared. Best. Winter holidays glittered. Christmas at the cabin, snow blanketing pines. Alex and Jordan flew in, tree trimmed with mismatched ornaments. Gifts unwrapped, Riley's leather jacket for Mark, engraved watch from the boys. New Year's Eve, countdown under stars, kisses sealing vows. Proposal ring glinted on Riley's finger. Simple band, promise etched. Spring wedding planning buzzed. Small, May affair at the courthouse, then reception at the Rusty Nail. Invites went out. Mill crew, Riley's girls, Ray and Clara, Jordan's folks. Alex best man, speech prep tear-jerking. Dress fittings, tuxes tailored, Mark's nerves jangling. What if I trip? Riley laughed. I'd catch you. Rehearsal dinner, backyard bash, toast flowed. Hank's gruff to loves that last. Alex is choked. Dad, you taught me brave. Wedding day broke clear, birdsong chorus. Courthouse steps, Mark in navy suit, Riley in gray. Vows simple, in all weathers yours. Rings exchanged, Kiss ceiling, crowd cheering. Reception rocked. Band playing queer anthems, dances wild. Alex and Jordan slow dance center. Mark and Riley joining, world spinning joyful. Ray cornered Riley later. Take care of him. Handshake firm. Always. Honeymoon whisper. Weekend getaway, but life called. Alex's midterms, mill promotions. Still, nights tangled, futures dreamed. Joint house Reno, maybe adopt. Mark traced Riley's lines. Worth the wait. Riley smiled. Every second. Summer heat peaked, anniversary nearing. Alex visited Jordan in tow, dorm tales, internship hunts. One evening, porch beers, Alex announced. We're thinking. Engagement. After graduation. Cheers erupted, hugs tight. Mark's heart burst, cycle broken, love multiplied. But fate twisted. Riley's doc visit, routine check. News dropped casual over coffee. Early prostate. Caught it. Mark froze, world tilting. We'll fight. Scans, treatments planned, chemo, radiation. Riley stoic, beat worse. Alex rallied, family armor. Mill crew fundraised. Ray drove Riley to appointments. Nights, Mark held him through nausea, whispering together. Months blurred. Hair lost, weight shed, but Riley's grin held. Alex's calls daily, Jordan's care packages. One dawn, treatment done, Riley rang the bell, cancer-free. Cheers echoed halls. Homecoming feast legendary. Mark pulled him close, my warrior. Riley weak laughed. Your husband. Healing wove deeper bonds. Fall leaves turned. Alex's senior year, proposals planned. Mark and Riley mentored. Say it true. Wedding small, campus chapel. Vows echoing theirs. Tears flowed, dances doubled. Years folded like well-worn maps, tracing paths once jagged, now smooth. Mark retired at 60, mill pension solid, trading sawdust for garden soil. Tomatoes ripening under Riley's watchful eye, the man who'd outlived doctors' grim odds by sheer stubborn heart. Their home, expanded with a sunroom addition, hummed with visits. Alex and Jordan's twins, boisterous boys with hazel eyes and gap-toothed grins, tumbling through grass. Grandpa Mark, catch, shrieks as he scooped them. Riley chuckling from the hammock, silver hair glinting. Ray, softened by time and grandkids of his own, barbecued yearly, old slurs dust, replaced by stories swapped over ribs. Alex's life unfolded proud. Architecture firm in Columbus, Jordan partner in design. Their home, a modern haven with rainbow flags fluttering. Family trips, dotted calendars. Beach weeks in Florida, where Mark taught the boys to cast lines, Riley napping under umbrellas. Content. Letters from Sarah's old friends arrived sporadic. Heard about the wedding. She danced first. Mark framed one, hung by their rings. Challenges came, gentle now. Riley's knee surgery, Mark's reading glasses multiplying. But love anchored. Anniversaries marked with cabin getaways, firelit vows renewed. 1 October, leaves peak crimson. They drove the old Ford, relic restored, to Ohio State, ghosts of youth lingering in dorm shadows. Remember Jake? Mark asked, hand on Riley's thigh. Riley smirked. Jealous. Laughter, then quiet. You found your way. Campus walk, hand in hand open now, students nodding casual, world shifted. Grandkids grew. First school plays, Mark in front row beaming, Riley filming shaky. Alex's call one spring, another on the way, girl. Joy exploded, nursery painted yellow. Birthday, hospital wait, Riley's head on Mark's shoulder. Full circle. Holding tiny Elena, dark curls like Jordan's, Mark teared. Welcome, Sprout. Twilight years, gifted reflection. Mark journaled, laptop long donated. The laptop incident, a chapter titled Awakening. Shared at group meets, late bloomers now gray-haired circle. That discovery? Best accident. Nods, stories echoed. Riley's health flickered once more. Heart murmur, but meds steadied. Walks slowed, but talks deepened. Dreams deferred like that Europe trip. Next summer, Riley promised. They booked it, Paris first, Eiffel glow romantic. Flights bumpy, but streets charmed. Croissants crumbling, St. Cruz's hand-linked. One night, bistro candlelit, Riley raised glass. To us, unlikely, unbreakable. Mark clinked. To truths unearthed. Homecoming, Milford unchanged yet evolved. Pride flags on lampposts, fair booth queer-friendly. Ray's funeral came quiet, spring rained soft. Eulogy marks, he learned late but loved fierce. Clara hugged after, Sarah's proud. Alex's twins hit teens, awkward questioning. One confided to Mark, Uncle says I might be. Bye. Mark smiled, Riley beside. On a kid, we got you. Mentorship cycled, love's legacy. 80th birthday bash, backyard packed, family, crew relics, toast long. Alex's speech, Dad's laptop find, sparked our fire. Laughter, tears. Dance floor cleared, Mark and Riley slow waltzing. Creaky knees be damned. World fading to their beat. Winter's end, cabin one last time. Snow dusting eaves. Fire crackled, grandkids roasted marshmallows sticky. Bed that night, Riley whispered, best life. Mark kissed forehead, ours forever. Dawn broke, Riley slipped quiet, heart giving final sigh. Mark held him till paramedics came, world gray. Funeral lakeside, ashes scattered where they fished. Alex eulogized, he taught endurance. Love's quiet roar. Grief carved hollow, but memories filled. Riley's grin, green eyes eternal. Mark garden on, stories to grandkids. Your grandpa? Strongest man. Alex's arm around, like you, Dad. Years later, Mark joined him, peaceful, porch swing creaking. Elena, grown fierce, whispered at bedside, tell Grandpa Riley hi. Smile fading, Mark did. Legacy lingered. Family woven tight, truths passed like heirlooms. In Milford's fields, under endless sky, love's story echoed. Naughty, bold, unbroken. A father's discovery, a son's courage, husband's vow. In coming out, they found in